สวัสดีครับผม Stuart J. Raj นะครับ I'm Stuart J. Raj and welcome to this episode of Thai Bites Live. Now, the original title of today's webinar is Typing in Thai, Accessing a Hidden World. And this is based on an article I wrote a while back, but I've been updating it. But what I wanted to do, because that's already out there, so we're going to be touching quickly on just how to quickly map our bodies to typing in Thai. But in this webinar, honestly, I think the thing, all the ingredients to be one of the most important webinars when it comes to learning. Now, I just see some people are having, now I'm just doing a test. I'm enabling the chat, enabling the Q&A. Let me just turn it back on and off. And then I also have a poll up there. So that poll should be working right now. Let me start the poll again. So you should be able to see it out there. Okay, so all systems are go. We are working now. So getting back to it, today's, what we're going to be doing today, if you're going to want to watch this again when you're once you've watched it and hopefully a few times over, but you're going to learn some techniques and skills today that are just going to change the way that you learn Thai and any language in the future. Now, when I was a kid, my grandfather, who was also a polyglot, he spoke about 11, 12 different languages. He was a radio operator during the war, and he spoke Japanese, Hebrew, Chinese, German, French, Italian. And when I was a kid, his love was listening to the shortwave radio. And so we would tune in and listen to languages that he knew and languages that he didn't know. But this shortwave radio was an amazing technological tool that he used to be able to tune in and listen to language all over the world and learn and keep improving his skills. And he taught me at a very early age to touch type. It's amazing. Now everybody just types. Back then I had a big old typewriter, a heavy typewriter, and I'd be learning A, S, D, F, G, H, J, K, L. And the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog, and doing all of these to map our fingers. So the first thing is to have this skill to be able to type. It opened up a world that allowed me to type things and get things and make materials for myself. Now, when the age of cassettes came along, my grandfather's world opened up because now he could record broadcasts. He could record his own voice. He could go and test himself. He could listen to things and replay them. And so technology became a tool to accelerate the way he learned. So what we're going to be doing today, now with the tools that we have, just with my phone here, I can record people, I can record videos, I can take photos of signs, I can do optical OCR, optical character recognition, I can do handwriting recognition, speech recognition, I can do all these amazing things. Today I'm going to be showing you how to take it just from just typing and getting access to the text at a top level, and then creating these resources that are just going to blow away your learning and take you to a new level. So let's jump straight in. I'm going to jump in here. Okay, some people are saying no poll. If the poll isn't there, it mustn't be working. That's okay. I just wanted to know what operating systems people are using, because I'm using a Mac today, and actually a lot of the functionality that we'll be talking about, I'll be showing on a Mac. There are other things out there, but then as we get into other things, I'll show you some special things that you can do. And the Mac has some capabilities when it comes to language. But anyway, let me show you my screen. I'm going to pull it up here. So you should be able to see my screen now. When learning to, I have loaded on my computer probably, I don't know, about 30 or so keyboards. And when I'm learning to use a keyboard, this is what I do. And while we do have, one of the reasons why I like using normal books, because I always find manually doing something bridges those synapses and allows me to really get that language into my body. Sometimes if you just do things digitally, it doesn't have the same effect as doing it. So this is what I do. If you can't type in Thai yet, the first thing I would do is create a map of the keyboard yourself. How do you do it? You go open a Word document or any word processor, and let me just knock the font up there a bit. I'll knock it to about, what's that? Yep. And I'll turn my language to Thai. And I'm just going to start with the keyboard across the top row. So where it would normally be QWERTY, QW, well, let's just start from actually the numbers. So I'm going to start from 1, 2, 3. So the way I'll hit a 1, that's the number 1, space. Well, actually, I'll show you in English quickly first. I'll do 1, space, space, 2, space, space, 3, space, space, 4, space, space. I'll be going right across. But what I'm going to do, I'm switching the keyboard over to Thai. So watch this. Check. Okay, the font is still there. So watch this. First key, space, space. Second key, through, and I'm just going to go all across the keyboard there, putting 2 spaces in between. The reason I'm putting 2 spaces in between is because some of the characters in Thai will, because the vowels join in together, you'll need a space there so it doesn't hook into the letter before it. Now, next row, so the QWERTY row, QWERTY. Okay, and next row, I'll increase the font in a moment. Let's keep going across. You can do it really quickly. Last row. Oh, I did that twice. Where I'm up to here. No, I've already got main one. There we go. Okay, so let me, I'll turn all of that to a bigger font now. So let's knock that up to say about here. And I'm going to Command E to center it. And there I have a map of the Thai keyboard without Shift. Now I'm going to use Shift. So I'll do exactly the same thing. So I'm holding Shift down, space, space. And actually, I want to put a few more spaces. I might put 3 spaces in there. And let me knock the font up again. I think I'm about 26 points. So let's try that. So here we go, bang. Okay, that's working nice. Okay, so I'm out there, next row, QWERTY row with Shift. All of these are using Shift, okay? And enter now the ASDF row. So you don't actually need to have the Thai letters on your keyboard. And actually, I've never looked at the Thai letters on my keyboard. There we go. And that's it. And so I'm going to now Command E. I have a map of the keyboard right in front of me. So what I would do then is you can print it out. And then as you learn your letters, just try and figure out, now let me just justify that. So say I wanted to type the word guy, okay? And then you would find out where the go guy is, and just looking, so you don't want to look at your fingers on the keyboard. Say you're learning go guy and ko kai, so go and ko, and you've got your I. What you would do is basically lock your sight into the map on the screen up there. And as you're doing that, it doesn't matter if you hit and miss and you're getting the wrong ones, just keep doing it until you build that pathway between your finger and where you see the gokai on that map. And as you go along, you'll be able to start to get that muscle memory there for the letters. Then the salai, and then if you've ever seen those court, what's the word? The typists, there's a word anyway, doing it in court. They type on a different kind of machine, but they type in chords. And my grandfather taught me when I was young to type in chords. So if I was in English, instead of typing, say, thinking T-H-E, I just drop my fingers like that, the. So it's like a chord on the piano. So the becomes this. And is a chord. This is and, okay? And is that chord, and so I'm playing that. And so what you can start to do, so say words that you're typing all the time in Thai, for example, Thai. I just know that Thai is this chord. And so as you learn these letters and you get your muscle memory, start to learn common words in chords. And the great thing is in Thai, because you're doing in these syllable blocks, you can start to build up a really good vocabulary fast using these chords. Okay, so this is basically how we do it. You can go through, and there are some typing tutors out there, but another good thing, a book that you can use is something like this, that Darun Siksa, and just go, as you're learning the alphabet, go through some of these drills and these exercises and just type. Why do you want to type? Well, there are a whole lot of reasons, and I'll just, the obvious one is, now let me just pull up a browser window here. The obvious one is when you are, I've got so many windows open, where is my browser here? If I was in Google, so I'm just gonna, oh, not that one, I'll take that, there we go. Okay, so in my browser here, so if I was to open up Google Images and somebody said I wanted to see the word Wainam. Now there are a couple of ways you could say that. So let me get images up. So images.google.com, images.google.com, and somebody says to me Wainam, and I'm thinking, which one is swimming? Well, it's very easy. Actually, let me just center that up for you so you can get it in there. But yeah, I could type the word why. Now, there's two ways you could type why. You can type why like this, and you can type why like this. Which one is which? One is this why, and the other one is to why, like why nam. So let's see which one that is. I type it into Google, and wow, that must be the spelling of this why, as opposed to, let's type in this why. Okay, so that's the swimming why. So that's one very quick example of how learning to type instantly gives you access to all of this new tools, these new resources. Now we're going to go even a step further than that, than just looking up, and you can go into Google and you can see people, how they're using the language, and go and do all of this stuff. It's great. We're going to go a step further now. So I mentioned that my grandfather used technology to develop tools for himself that allowed him to accelerate the way that he learned. Now, one tool that we have now, because we're using computers, I want you to start to become familiar, if you're not already familiar, especially for people who are using Linux or Apple, with the command line, because there are some amazing tools that we've got using this computer terminal that I can show. I'll show you what we're going to do. Before the end of this webinar, we're going to create our entire system of audio training materials going from English into Thai, and physical flashcards that you can then drill yourself and work together. So I have gone through, and the first thing that I do is I'll open a spreadsheet up, and so it's all about finding vocabulary. So using those tools that I had, I went through and I found in the Falang Can Learn Thai Language Facebook page, I found there's some fantastic posts that Keith and Wondrous Thai put up there of all this great, really rich Thai vocabulary. And so what I did, and yesterday there's a great post up there that Keith posted of Wondrous Thai. So this is Wondrous's Thais. I just cut and paste some of these. And actually, if you don't want to just cut and paste, type them in, and you're building those synapses as you're going. And I pasted her sentences in there. So thank you for these. I'm going to use them. And she has, every day I see these fantastic sentences. So sorry I'm late. ขอโทษที่มาสาย And this is, I cut and paste Wondrous's Thai. I would use IPA, but she uses this phonetic transcription. That's fine. Sorry, I couldn't help you. And so I've just opened Google Docs up here so you can see, well, let me get rid of that Word document so it doesn't interfere anymore. Okay, so I've cut and paste these sentences just into a spreadsheet, and I've saved the name, as vocab builder test. Let me enlarge that screen for you so you can see it. We're going to do some really cool stuff now with it. You should be able to see me now. There you go. So that's going to be, that should be a full screen now. So I've got sorry I'm late, and I've just taken 5 sentences for this example. ขอโทษที่มาสาย sorry I couldn't help you ขอโทษที่ช่วยคุณไม่ได้ sorry I have to go ขอโทษที่ฉันต้องทิ้งคุณไป sorry I made you upset ขอโทษที่ผมทำให้คุณเสียใจ sorry for hurting you ขอโทษที่ทำให้คุณเจ็บ Okay, so ขอโทษที่ทำให้คุณเจ็บ let me show you something really cool now. So what I would like you to do, what you can do now is you go to your file menu and you would say download as comma separated values. Okay, and that vocab, and just save it. Now I've just created a directory myself, and so I've exported that and saved it. I'll show you. It is in here. Okay, so right now you can see I've saved it, and I've saved it across. This is just actually on my desktop, and I've created a folder called vocab on my desktop. Okay, and then I've put this vocab builder in there on my desktop. Okay, that's that CSV file that's downloaded from Google Docs. Now let's have a look at what we've got here. I want you to open up the terminal. So the way to open up the terminal on the Mac, Linux, you could do it as well. You just type, actually, and I'm going to show you a thing. We just learned how to map the keyboard. Well, the great thing on a Mac is if you go to your language bar up the top and you can say show keyboard, and look at this. I'll bring this down again. Vocab builder test. Have a look here. You should be able to see my keyboard now on screen. This is amazing. See, so as I change my keyboard to, let me change it to English. So there's the QWERTY keyboard, and I'll change it to Thai, and there's the Thai keyboard. When I hit Shift, look at that, the keyboard changes, so you can actually see the keys as I type. If I type here in Thai, watch. See, and so that's another training tool for learning how to type. But anyway, what I'm going to do now, I'll go to my English keyboard and I'll call my terminal up. Okay, now this is what the terminal looks like. Don't be afraid of the terminal, because the terminal has these amazing functionality that as language learners we can take advantage of and just do some really, really cool stuff. So what I'm going to do on my terminal is, watch this. I'm going to put the volume up. Okay, so what I've done, I've just typed the word say and then inverted commas, I love learning languages. Listen to this.
I love learning languages.
Did you hear that? Now, if I want to pull that up again on the terminal, you can just hit your up arrow. I get that last one. Listen.
Learning languages. I love learning languages.
See that? Now that's Karen's voice. You can actually see all these different voices here. If I took say the and then a question mark, it lists all the languages out that you have. Let me get rid of my keyboard there. Okay, so you can see all those languages. I've used Karen. She's an Australian English. So if I want to change the voice to say, where's another English speaking voice? Agnes. Have a look at this. I can just type it this. I'll Control L to reset my screen. So say V for voice, Agnes. I love learning languages. Have a look at this. Let's see the change of voice.
I love learning languages.
Okay, that's a different, and she sounds more robotic, but Karen sounds pretty good. Say, I love learning.
I love learning.
Okay, got it. I love learning. So that's pretty cool. And you can actually speed it up. So if I want to do it at, say, 200 words a minute, watch this. Say rate, so I put /r, I love learning. Oh, sorry, /r 200, so 200 words a minute, I love learning languages.
I love learning languages.
So that was faster. Let's do it at 300. I'll just change my speed here to 300.
I love learning languages. I love learning languages.
Okay, that's all well and good, but now the really cool thing is, now if you say the voices, we have a Thai voice in there. So the Thai voice, her name is, you can see it here, her name is Kanya. Okay, so I'm going to call Ganya's voice and type in this sentence that we just had. So what was the sentence? Let's type ขอโทษที่ทำให้คุณเจ็บ. Okay, watch this. Get my terminal back up. Oh, I don't want to pull the terminal there. Don't do that. Okay, so here's my terminal. Let me just get a new screen. So say, I want to turn it into Ganya's voice. ขอโทษที่ทำให้คุณเจ็บ. Okay, so I'm just going to put it in the quotes there. ขอโทษที่ทำให้คุณเจ็บ. Ready?
ขอโทษที่ทำให้คุณเจ็บ.
You might get a bit of an echo on my system there because it's routing the sound, but let's listen again.
ขอโทษที่ทำให้คุณเจ็บ.
Kototi, and you will notice that it's actually a pretty realistic voice that comes out there. So have a look. So that's one thing that we can do. We can actually use our computer to start to say these sentences. We don't need a native speaker now if we just want to start to get the general rhythms of these sentences. I think that's pretty cool. Now have a look at this. You remember that CSV file? There's a way, now I want to go to that directory. Now, if we come back to that directory I just showed you a minute ago, you see here, it's desktop, vocab, and it's in there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say go into my command line here and say cd, so cd, command line, that's from my home directory, desktop, vocab, because I saved it in there. And you can see the files in there. So if I want to read that file that I just put in there, watch this, cat, and then vocab. If you hit tab, it will finish it for you. And I'm going to put the CSV file. Look at this. Bang! They're all there. That's pretty cool. Now I can start to read all of my files. Now, could you imagine if we could start to manipulate that text somehow? Well, we can. There is a function that we call, supposing I just wanted to read the middle line, I call this function sed. Sed is a stream editor, S-E-D. So watch this. I want to get line number 3. I type -n for line number, 3p, it's the third paragraph, P is the way to do it. And I put the file name in, so it's vocab.csv. There you go. I'm able to start to access my data that I did that. Imagine if we could create flashcards and audio files based on this. Now, but I don't want to really see that transliteration in there. Is there a way that I can just get those 2 columns? Yes, have a look at this. I use what we call awk, okay? So I want to call up awk. I will format to say separated at columns because it's a comma separated, so dash capital F and then a comma. And now I'm going to put quotes and type print. I just want the first column, the second column. So I put a $1, comma, $2. $1 is the first column, $2 is the second column, close it. And then I put my .csv, the file that I'm calling from. Look at that. That is awesome. That's absolutely amazing. So now I can actually start to manipulate the text and go through. What if I just wanted one line of English and then Thai? Let's have a look. I'm going to, I've got them here so I can put it up faster. But what if I just wanted, say, line 3 of the English and Thai? I'm going to, just a moment, let me type it there. So here we go. But actually, I just want to say it in Ganya's voice. Okay, so watch this. Here we go. Bang.
Sorry I late ที่มาสาย Sorry I didn't pick you ขอโทษที่ช่วยคุณไม่ได้ Sorry I have to call ขอโทษที่ฉันต้องทิ้งคุณไป Sorry that I made you upset ขอโทษที่ผมทำให้คุณเสียใจ Sorry for hurting you
Okay, I can control C. Now, what you saw there though was Ganya, her voice started to say Tinglish because it's reading that. Now, what I've done, I've created, and I will share this program with you. I've basically written a little program here, and you just save it as a .sh file. All of you can actually read it here. Okay, but basically, I've written this, and what it does, watch this. If I go into my shell now, and I've got this CSV file here, and so let's have a look back here. And so I'll show you this. You don't have to type this out again. I'll actually cut and paste even the text, and so you can save the file yourself. But all you have to do, if you see, I've saved that text file as vg.sh there in my directory. Okay, you can see that, and that's that file that we have there. Okay, so basically I've just written a quick little program to go through that CSV file. Actually, let me pull full screen up for you. Okay, and from that CSV file, sorry, I've called it out. So let's watch what happens now. So yeah, you can see I've written a little program here. It goes through each line of the CSV file. I want to say what line I start at and finish at, and I'm going to generate my own sound files for learning. You'll be able to do this too. All you have to do is find the vocab somewhere and you can do it. And so watch this. I'm going to, you type bash, because it's the bash thing, voice generator, v.sh, and I want line 1 to 5 of the file .csv. Okay, watch what happens as I click enter now. Let me pull this so you can actually see what's going to happen. Okay, so I'm going to hit enter, and you're going to see all of these little files being made. Ready? Da 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 da. Oh, no, that didn't work. Something happened in there. Okay, but anyway, I'll be able to share these with you after. But what was supposed to happen there is it generates audio files that read the text to you. Something's not being generated there. Well, I can show you in here. Okay, it didn't create the file from my text file. So let's try it again. If it doesn't work, that's okay. Here we go. vg.sh 1, 2. Actually, what's the oh, so the input file is number 1. That's why. So the input file is voice bash vg.sh vocab CSV line 1 to line 5. Okay, that worked. Whew. Now have a look at this. So what has happened now, as we're talking, this is just generating for us. And I'm going to pull it in here. Desktop vocab. Okay, look at this. I have just created a file. If I hit output now, listen to this.
ขอโทษที่มาสาย Sorry, I couldn't help you. ขอโทษที่ช่วยคุณไม่ได้ 3. Sorry, I have to go. ขอโทษที่ฉันต้องทิ้งคุณไป 4. Sorry that I made you upset. ขอโทษที่ผมทำให้คุณเสียใจ 5. Sorry for hurting you. ขอโทษที่ทำคุณเจ็บ
Isn't that cool? So basically, through using these text skills and being able to type in Thai and access textual Thai, cut and paste it when you find it, put it into a spreadsheet and build that, you can build your own audio training files using these automated tasks. Now, so what I will do is I'll share that little vg.sh file with you, and basically that means that any text that you get that's bilingual in Thai, let me just bring my camera back here. But yeah, any text that you get in the future that is in Thai and English, you can just put into a spreadsheet, run that little thing, and bang, it's going to instantly generate these audio files for you to learn from. Not only that, let's do one last thing, and then I'm going to throw over to questions. Let me just pull my screen up here. So if I open a Word document now, have a look at this. I'm going to get a new document, and I'll just bring it over here. Come on. Okay, I have a new Word document that I'm dragging over to, so you'll be able to see on the screen very shortly. Okay, so here's a Word document. Supposing I wanted some flashcards. Now you remember that spreadsheet that we made? So I've saved it as an Excel spreadsheet here, but watch this. I'm just going to make a table. So I get here and I'm going to make a template of what I would like my language flashcard to be in Thai. So let me go here to insert table. So I just go to tables. What do I want my table to look like? I'm just going to make it a one very simple table. It's just going to be a one. Actually, oh, we can do one. I'll just delete that row, delete that column. Okay, this is going to be my flashcard. Let me pull that up. Now, you remember on that spreadsheet what we just had just now? Let's go back to it. So I'm going to I'll use these as placeholders. I want it to say ขอโทษที่มาสาย and then the transliteration so we can test ourselves. So I just cut and paste that first of all as one, just to get a placeholder. On a Mac, if you don't want to pull the formatting across, you hit Command Option Shift. Now, and then as a placeholder, I'm going to put the transliteration in there. So let me cut and paste that. You probably want this on full screen. Let me put it on full screen for you. That should, well, let me full screen. Can you see that at the moment? Full screen. No, that's not going yet. Ah, that's why. Now you'll be on full screen. There you go. Okay, so what we've done, I've just created the Word document and I've copied this. I'm just getting these as placeholders, and what we're going to do is we're going to use mail merge to get that Excel file and automatically generate flashcards for us, which is pretty cool. So, okay, that looks pretty boring. So what I'm going to do is format my table a bit. So I'm just going to go into the formatting settings here. Let me table layout. I'll align it to the center of the card. Maybe I want to increase that font a little bit. So I'll come in here. Let's make that font. Yeah, that looks a bit better. And then let's put it more towards the center of the card. Does that look like a card yet? That's okay. Actually, let's pull this out a little bit. And I might knock that font size up a little bit. Okay, there is my flashcard template. You see that? Now watch what I'm going to do. I go to my menu. I'm going to go to my Microsoft Word menu. So just one moment, I need to pull it into my other screen to pull it. And I choose Tools, Mail Merge Manager. And so I'll pull it here. So I've chosen Tools, Mail Merge Manager, and you're going to see this come up. And so now watch what I'm going to do. I do Create Catalog. Okay, so I'm creating a new catalog. I want to select the recipients list now. It asked me, do I want to open Outlook? No, quit Outlook. And it should come back. Okay, that's fine. So everything's working. Now I want to get the list. So open a data source. I go to, I've actually saved it as an Excel spreadsheet. So all you have to do is save that as an Excel spreadsheet. It will save it as Unicode. So let me go into there and find my file. Desktop, vocab, and I get that file that I did Wondrous's Thai's fabulous word list there, and I pull it out, and now it's going to pull that data from the spreadsheet. So it's all my, just click OK, and so all of those words that I typed into the spreadsheet there, have a look here. Come on, come on, come on. Okay, insert placeholders. So the next step, where are we? Okay, yes, I want the whole sheet. There we go. And now those should be populated. Yes. Woohoo! Look at that. So I want the Thai and the transliteration here. So let me drag this Thai across here, and I'll just delete my placeholder now, and I'm going to put the transliteration here. Now you could format that to look really pretty if you want. Maybe you want it to be a gray color. Let's have a look here. We can format the color if we want, make it gray, or put shadows, or do whatever you want. I'll put a little space after that. Now that's all I need to do. I've got everything I need to do to create my flashcards. This is a really cheap and nasty version, but watch, now I just do merge into new document. Da, 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 da. And lo and behold, it's coming, it's coming. Wow. Here it is. Let me drag it in so you can see it. Look at this. I have just created a whole set of flashcards that I can then print out now. See, ขอโทษ คุณช่วย actually you can make it so the tables don't break across there. But look at that, I've generated these fantastic my very own flashcards. So I have, let me just pull it here. I've got audio files from English to Thai, and I have flashcards with the Thai, and I can do any combination, so I can start testing myself. But basically, what you have now are all the tools through being able to type in Thai, search for data, cut and paste that data, put it in, and use these text manipulation tools to create your whole learning syllabus by yourself. And I've been playing around over the past few months trying different things, but you can get SRT movie subtitle files. You can download them for free. The English and the Thai, they sync up. Just cut the spreadsheets across and do exactly what we did then, and use the movies. You can listen to them and have them speak to you. So you've got your visual, you've got your audio, and you don't need to rely on anybody else. You can do it all yourself. So that was a very, very intense lesson, but hopefully it's showed you some new tricks that you can use to create some really cool new learning products or learning materials for you to learn from. I'm just going to pull the camera up there, and you'll be able to start to customize the way you learn rather than just depend on third-party materials. You can learn whatever you want now. So it's time to throw it over to you. Let me see who is there. What questions do we have? Who has the first question? I can see some people in here. Okay. Well, I'm getting those questions in. Let me pull the terminal up. There are some now on Windows machines. There aren't. You might be limited. You don't have the voice function there, but you are. I think you can get a shell, and so you can probably do these. Linux definitely has these. Let me just pull this up here. So ls, but yeah, once those things are in there, though. Oh, by the way, when you're making those audio files there, I forgot to mention. Let me just pull the screen up for you. So if I come back to here, I had one thing. So if you are going to use this script that I've created for you, so let me explain what's happened. This first line, your computer. So when we look at a CSV file, it uses the CSV as a comma separated file. So the file separator, we have a default one. So I put that somewhere, and I change that file separator here to a comma. Here, the input when you're writing bash scripts. So this takes, when you're entering, you want to put the file name as your first thing. So you would type the vg.sh, then the file name that you saved your CSV file as, what number you would like to start at in the spreadsheet, what number row, and what number you'd like to end at. Because supposing you've got like 1,000 rows there, you might not want to have all of them at once. So you can just choose, say, 20 at a time. So you can say 10 to 20 and have those turned in. And so that goes through. And then you see this last line here, socks. So what happens, you can actually output those audio. Those audios will output to I think it's an OGG file or AIF file. And then what we do is I take those and I merge them into a wave. That bit is done with a program called socks. So if you're going to run my script, make sure that you go to get socks. You install SOX onto your thing. You can get it via Homebrew, or you can go to socks.sourceforge.net and download socks and just install it on your Mac. But once you do that, it will allow to merge all of these files into one nice big audio file, so you can load it onto your iPod or whatever and listen to it wherever you are. Okay, so I will save this script for you as a vg.sh or I'll just cut and paste that, and you can cut and paste it into a text document, save it vg.sh, and it should work for you. Okay. Next question. Oh, I just hit the wrong button. Just knocked them out there. Okay. When typing in Thai, okay. Typing vowels in Thai. Let me show you something. I'll just open a new document in Word, and I'll get rid of this. New. Come on. My computer is thinking. New. Okay, I've got a new document here. I'll drag it across to you so you can see it. With all of this, these documents open, my computer is taking its time to think. Okay. Pull it across. When you're typing in Thai, the way that Thai kids will learn, say they're reading something like Darun Suksa or something. Let me write this for you. So I'm going to write the first, I've got Darun Suksa here. Let me get a line of text here and I'll type it for you. Okay, so here we go. Am I in Thai? Thai language. Let me knock the font up so you can see it. Make it 26. Okay, so I'm going to type this line. And I'll show you the keyboard as I type it so you can see what I'm actually hitting. Ho, sorry, ho, mai tho, aha. Now, when a Thai kid reads that, the Thai kid, he or she will say, ho, aha, mai tho, ha. The next word is tho, tam. But when you're typing, you have to type tho, mai tho, Okay, so it's a bit of a clunky way that the Thai keyboard has evolved. You don't type it in the way that you would say it. So have a look at this. If I type in Khmer, for example, the Khmer typewriter, if I have Go and I wanted to write the O vowel, so this is the O, looks very similar to Ao in Thai, I would just type Go, Ao, and it comes up like that. But in Thai, I can't do that. In Thai, if I hit Go, and I've got no Ao vowel, I actually have to hit the Sala E, Go Kai, Sala A, so that would become Gao, like that, okay? So Go, Ao, Gao. Let me, whoop, I'll bring this back down for you here. Okay, I'm on a Ayutthaya font there. Oh, and another thing that is very important when you're typing in Thai, the best font for typing between English and Thai that I find is Arial Unicode MS. The reason being, have a look at this. I'll show you the difference. This, why is that underlined? Because I hit Control U. This is English, and you can see that's 26 point, and this niคือภาษาไทย. You can see that they look the same. Watch what happens if I change to Times New Roman. I'm going to switch this to Times. Okay, Times, that's just fine. Watch what happens when so this is English. And if I switch to Thai, see if it proves me wrong. The font is a different size, and actually, if I use another font, yeah, it hasn't even come out there. Niคือภาษาไทย. Actually, let me choose another font, and I'll just show you what I mean. So, Courtier, I think, is a where is another Thai font? My computer is taking forever to think here. But basically, if you use other fonts, the way that it works, and unless you've done it, most fonts will tend to be, most Thai fonts, especially the older ones, will tend to be about 30% smaller than the English text in that font. It's just hanging now. Isn't that nice? Come on. don't do this to me. Okay, it just wants to hang, but trust me, when you're typing in Thai, okay, here we go. So I will highlight this and I will select another font. Come on. And so when you're going there, Tahoma isn't a bad font. Ucrosial is actually not a bad looking Thai font. However, I think as far as printing and making sure that your English and that the Thai font are both the same, Arial Unicode MS tends to be the most consistent for me. There are other ones there, and some people have their preferences, but that's the one that I prefer. Now, that's just not going to work. Oh, there we go. So I can pull up some fonts here. Let's have a look. Where are some Thai fonts? The Thai fonts are normally around the U for Unicode, or I've got so many languages and so many fonts in here, or there's some around T. I've gone past some of them. There's my Chinese fonts. Okay, Tonbury. So yeah, there's just so many things going on in my computer now. Everything is very jumpy. Okay. There's some Khmer fonts. Or even here, if I type Silom, this is English, and let me type this in Thai. Ni.ภาษา Thai. You see what I mean? So the Thai and the English look very, very different, even though they're in the same font. But if I jump here, you'll see that it's Arial Unicode MS, and they're all even. Okay, so that was the main point. When you're typing, you want consistency of fonts. Speaking of which, I'm very, very excited to say that the Cracking Thai Fundamentals book is going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks. I've finished finally writing it, about 17 years worth of writing. It's about 450 pages, but it's going to be the ultimate book for anybody learning Thai. It's got everything, take you through the meanings, getting your brain right, getting the writing system, the sound system, tones, everything that is Thai, Cracking Thai Fundamentals. You're going to be able to buy it from Amazon very soon in the book form, so stay tuned for that. Okay, let me just come through and see, are there any final questions in here? I'm just going down there. No, okay. So I think we were almost done there. J-Academy, I thought I just mentioned too. If you come in, the Glossica files for J-Academy, we have translated every, actually, let me pull the camera up here. We have translated all of the Glossica files, the Glossica, again, for Mike. So we didn't do the first ones, but I've gone through with my team, all the Glossica files we've done, and it's been through 3 editing phases, native Thai speakers, gone over. I've gone through every single one of them, check that it's real language, that you would use in Thai, very natural language. Mike's had them recorded now, and so very, very soon we're going to have the brand new Glossica set in Thai, and I'll make sure that anybody that has purchased Glossica before will be able to get access to those updated files with all of the new translations of the files there. And it's really exciting because we're doing our one, if you're a B2B, we got our subscription. So for companies where we've got the files both for Thais learning English and for English speakers learning Thai, and Chinese learning Thai as well, if you want them the other way, and Thais learning Chinese. We've got that program as well, also mixed in with other courses in J-Academy to be able to do that. I think if let's give 50% off for the next 2 days. So today is the 4th of July. Happy 4th of July. So 4th of July special, 50% off if you put the webinar code webinar 07, webinar, sorry, 0407, the 4th of the 7th, webinar 0407. I'll make sure that that gets up there with very soon after this, and you can use that to get 50% off anything in J-Academy. That's a great deal. That means like instead of $300, you get Correcting Thai Fundamentals for $150. That's great. Okay, so it's time to wrap up now. Thank you all for being part of this. We'll be back in another 2 weeks. Go back, look at this video again, cut out, start to experiment, teach yourself to type, even if you're just beginning and you're just learning to write ko kai, ko kai, learn to type it at the same time, train your muscles, and then just go in and start getting data. Data is your friend. You want to get as much data as you possibly can. Subtitles, go through the Phlang Can Learn Thai websites, books, anything that you can type out or you can cut and paste, put into spreadsheets, and then you can develop all of your own learning wares and learn to your heart's content. Okay, that's it for today. We're at time. I'm Stuart J. Raj, and this is Thai Bites Live, free webinar. I'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Sawadee krap.